Hello, good afternoon, girlfriends. This is Angela Jordan Perry with Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. It's that time of the evening for one of our amazing interviews, and she will be joining us in just a few moments and let us know where you are viewing us from. We have our guest speaker. She's coming on in, our interviewee for this evening. There she is, all beautiful. Yay!
I figured it out.
Oh yes, you did it much faster this time. So 3, 2, 1. Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. This is Angela Jordan Perry, and I am turned up for this evening's interview. We have a special treat for you, and I cannot wait to get her and hear all about her journey and you all. Oh my goodness, it's going to be exciting. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Angela Jordan Perry. I'm your girlfriend here. I'm your host of the show here in South Carolina. I'm in the northern part of the state of South Carolina, homeschooling 8 children, 18 years, 1 husband, 26 years, well, it'll be in July, 3 dogs, 2 goats, 3 turkeys, a big hog, about 20 hens, and I think that's everything we have right now. So we are small farmers up here, and my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. So I do that in part here with you through these wonderful interviews. You all, if you are missing them, oh my goodness, make sure that you stay connected. We have interviews on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Just jump over to Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling and be sure to follow and like the page. Okay, so all of you who are here, welcome, 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 welcome. I am ready. Are you ready? Kim, are you ready to make this happen?
I am so ready.
Yes, good deal. Let me tell you a little bit about Kim. Ladies, girlfriends, we have Kim Gibson with us. She is a homeschooling mother living in Greenville, South Carolina with her husband and son. She and her husband, Ken, have 2 daughters attending college. One is in Arizona and one in North Carolina. Kim enjoys baking, cooking, hiking, and biking throughout North and South Carolina and designing interiors for her family's dream home on Pinterest. Kim is a lifestyle commercial photographer and looks forward to building her portfolio after homeschooling her son. You can follow Kim on Instagram. She's at KMG Photo Love, as well as at Little Lovely Art. And her work is breathtaking. When I say breathtaking, it's breathtaking. Absolutely beautiful. So anyway, Kim, I have shared just a little bit about you with our girlfriends. Please tell us more about yourself and how you actually got started in your homeschooling journey.
Hicunni Chandler is a wife and homeschool mom and a foodie at heart. She loves eating good food, trying new restaurants, testing out new recipes, and sharing with friends and family.
Well, top of the morning to you. This is Hicunni with HicunniChandler.com, and I am a mind-body eating coach. And what that means is I help women get to the root cause of their eating challenges so they can start loving themselves, enjoying life, and transforming their relationship with food.
As a mind-body eating coach and food strategist, Hicunni has learned how to help clients reach their highest goals, not by strategies that punish, but through strategies that nourish.
Nutrition is more than what you eat and the weight that you carry. And if you liked what I've shared, share it with a friend. Till next time.
Oftentimes, our eating challenges are connected to work, money, relationships, family, intimacy, life, stress, and so much more. Let Hicunni help you today.
Originally from Maryland, lived in Silver Spring, Maryland, and I have relocated to Greenville, South Carolina about 15 years ago with my husband for work. And my plan was to always to go back into the workforce after my kids got school age. But my girls each had different challenges. One was health related and one was learning, process learning. So I ended up homeschooling with them for a bit through middle school. And then, you know, they've since graduated from public school and on to college. And then we had our son, our 2nd generation child. And he asked to be homeschooled starting at about 2nd grade. And in 4th grade, I was like, fine, let's do it. So we have been homeschooling since 4th grade. And now this year he is a 7th grader.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
So,
about
okay.
photography, right?
Yeah, about yourself, a little bit more about yourself that we don't know that wasn't in your bio.
I, well, I, for me, homeschooling was a choice this time led by my son. It wasn't something that I ever thought, like a lot of homeschool moms or families that I meet, they know right out the gate when they have kids, they want to homeschool. I wasn't one of those moms. So I had personally, and with my husband, I had to really make that decision and then, start from there. But we've enjoyed homeschooling. My son and I have agreed and taught that he just wants to be homeschooled through middle school, and we have a high school that he is going to go to for high school.
Okay. Well, that's a clear picture already laid out. So you already know what the future. So a lot of homeschoolers say we have to go year to year. We just go year to year, but you already know, hey, by the end of middle school, he's ready to go on.
8th grade, we're done. It's a wrap.
You're done. It's a wrap. So just to say all of that, then you're not that type of mom who's like, anti-public school or private school.
No. In fact, I prefer kids to go to public school. I think public schools are great institutions. I think like with anything, there are pros and cons. There are public schools that are better than other public schools. There are even, some people who homeschool who I think homeschool better than other people homeschool. It's a mixed bag. It's like anything. But no, I'm not anti-public school. I think public schools are great.
So what if he gets started in public school and then he's like, okay, Mom, I think I want to go back to homeschool?
It depends his reasons for wanting to come back. I personally believe that he would benefit from being in public school before he goes off to college one more time. That is what I believe for my child and his personality and his skill set. So nothing's definite. You never say never. So, if something arises and he decides, hey, I really want to be homeschooled, there's a program that I want to be involved in, or maybe he doesn't want to go to college. He knows other things, like right now he's really into computer programming and doing that. If he wanted to get maybe a 2-year degree, I mean, there's so many options out there, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Tell us, what type of personality or what would necessitate a student, it would be good for them to head off to public school before they go off to college? Because you said you feel like your son would benefit if he does that. What would you say to us? Is there like a general thought process that you have that would make most kids, a good candidate to go to public school before college?
I think that we all need to be in an environment where we can learn to work with one another and work with other people, and also how to work within an institutional setting where you're coming into a situation where there are preset rules, pre-described rules, and sometimes they may not be ideal or exact match to your learning style or your work style, but you have to be able to work within that in some way. If there isn't anything barring you from doing that physically or mentally, to be able to do that before going off to college or becoming an adult. And then he has the support of parents that are with him daily and that I can go in and check with his teachers. I mean, when he goes to college, I can't call up his professors and, how's Dole doing?
Right, exactly. That's a good point. That's a good idea. So that'll give us girlfriends things to think about, for those who are considering still, to homeschool, but to keep in the back of their mind, having that ability to work with other working community, and have that, I guess you say, skill set under the belt. Yeah.
And I think it's really important too. Doyle has some challenges that are just with like sensory and things like that. And he needs to learn how to be an advocate for himself. And I would rather him learn while he's here with me, if he's facing those challenges, to say, hey, Mom, I'm having this, and I'm a support there, but he's learning how to navigate that for himself. I don't want him to do it once he goes to college. That's especially if he goes far away and I can't reach him. And, you know, once your kids go to college, you can't, you know, they're on their own. You can't go and talk to professors. A lot of parents, oh, I can tell them what, you don't have, you know, unless your student signs off to see their grades, you don't, even though you're paying, you don't get to see those grades. So
Right.
those are
Yeah.
all things to think about.
Yeah. And that's, go ahead. Yes.
No, I preface this to saying, this is my personal opinion. This is what works for us. They're only suggestions. I've always felt like this with all of my kids. I never tell another mom mandate how she should raise her child or what's going to work best for her. I could just give you support, encouragement, and this is what I know. This is what worked. This is what didn't work, you know, and being honest about, you know, what frustrations there are. I mean, it's tough being a mom.
Yes. Yes. But you know what? The appreciation of this type of platform is to give, you know, you homeschoolers a voice that, hey, this is what we're doing, but also to show you can give us insights and thoughts about other perspectives. I never thought about that. So you just shared something, a great perspective that is good to have. I mean, you already have two that's in college, and now you're homeschooling. So you have some knowledge and wisdom under your belt to give to us. So that is, you know, very, very poignant, is powerful information and insight. So thank you for sharing that bit, something I hadn't thought about, you know, the importance of that. So, but yeah, tell us, what was your first year in homeschooling? What did it look like when you started, Kimberly?
What did it look like? It looked like a lot of fun. I really just wanted, Doyle was really unhappy with school. He had started to feel a certain way of that school had to be very top down or directive, or that the way he did things wasn't proper or right. So that first year was just really building up his self-esteem, building up his confidence, letting him be himself, letting him express why he didn't like school, why he was having the challenges that he did. And then also, what responsibility could he take for some of those challenges? Because it's not always about what someone else did or didn't do. You know, you have to learn to be responsible for your situation. So that's our first year. Basically, that was my focus, along with, you know, the basic curriculum.
Okay. Did you have this, you know, it was your son that initiated homeschooling. It wasn't like, you've been thinking about it, contemplating, researching, blah, blah, blah. It was him like, Mom, I want to be homeschooled. Did you walk in there with this confidence, like, yes, I can do it. Let's get it done. I mean, what was your, what was your mental game like? What was that?
Well, I think I'm in my head type of person, and I'm a planner. So before I do anything or present it to anyone, I've thought about it way too much. So before I started, I knew it was something that I wanted to do. It was something that I felt I could do well, and I was committed to doing it. Like with my daughters, I fell back upon the curriculum that I grew up with, and the school system that I grew up in, which was Montgomery County in Maryland. So I went to their website and kind of read through their standards, the guidelines for fifth graders, what they were doing. And then I looked back too on, okay, how can I teach Doyle to be all that Doyle can be? And what does that look like? And I kind of started from there.
Well, tell us, what did that look like? Can you give us some, you know, bullet points of how did you teach him to become all that he needs to be as Doyle? I mean, all of us who are homeschooling, that should be a big focus, how to teach each child how to be themselves, you know, draw from who they are. Tell us, can you give us some bullet points on, you know, how to effectively do that?
Okay. Well, when we got up in the morning, we talked. We had breakfast together, and he wanted to become a better conversationalist. So we actually sat and we talked and we had tea in the morning and had breakfast. We didn't have a set up, get up time. But over time, it became between 8 and 9 in the morning when we would really start sitting down and talking. One of his struggles was writing. And I explained to him, writing is all about being a good communicator, right? And that means communicating your thoughts. So the first thing to do is understand your thoughts. And I don't want you to really think about it, but whatever's on your mind, just write it. I don't care if you just want to write the ingredients on how to make a worm pie. Write that out, whatever you're thinking. But it's basically letting him be comfortable again with his own thoughts, with his own feelings, and getting that out on paper. And then we did math. I use Khan Academy and IXL for math and language arts. And so we got on there. He begged to learn Japanese. I do not speak Japanese. Well, I'm learning to speak Japanese. So I found an app that also was automated. So the instructor speaks Japanese because I'm horrible with phonics and languages, basically. So I needed someone or something that actually spoke the words. And we did that. Every night I read to him at least 1 or 2 chapters of books that I picked out. And so we basically had 1 book a month that we read together. And then we did science, and science was experiments. And we have some friends who are homeschooled. And so on Thursdays, they came over and we did science experiments. And I used Tinker Crate subscription, which is amazing. Tinker Crate is amazing. It's $19 a month. Even if you're not homeschooling your kids, Tinker Crate is amazing. It comes with all the materials, and they're great science experiments. It's not cheesy. It's not watered down. It comes with a pamphlet. They're online videos. There's actually links where you can do further research depending on your age of your child, and they loved it. They look forward to that. And then for social studies, I also use Khan Academy. And then I supplemented that with books that I have, or we would do field trips to art museums and stuff like that. Anything that was going on that I thought related to what we were doing, we just went out and participated in.
Okay. All right. So was this pretty much all of that stuff that you mentioned? Was that his leading of what he was interested in learning, or was that, okay, it was all of you based on, okay.
No, starting out, I didn't so much let him lead it because he was in kind of a funk about school. And then also his maturity level, I don't think was there to lead it. Like, he had ideas and, we talk about things, but not so much for the follow through. Like now saying, I want to learn how to make an app. Okay. He can articulate that, and I could say, okay, that's going to take this much training, and sit down and work with it. He just wasn't there then. Where now we actually we do school every day, but our full days are Monday through Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday are for art and reflection and science.
Okay.
So it's kind of evolved.
You had thought it through. You had an idea of what your homeschooling was going to be like. You started it. Would you say that the beginning of your school year was a pretty, career, I should say, or, the beginning of your homeschooling was off to a good start. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you. Kim is sharing some great insights.
One of my good friends from England I saw was on Nicola and Ella and Sarah and Chris. Thanks. Hey, guys.
Yeah, she's sharing some great information. So I hope you all are taking notes and things to reflect upon. Like she said, she's not trying to say this is how you have to do it, but she's sharing her insights, which give you some things to build upon and reflect on and think on, and maybe even implement or change in your own homeschool. So this is great. Again, this is Kim Gibson out of South Carolina, amazing photographer, friend of mine. Just love her. If you see my profile picture, this is all her work. Matter of fact, do you realize all this week, most of today and tomorrow, all of your photography work? So you look at her pictures, they're beautiful. So yeah. I didn't plan that.
No, I saw Tisha yesterday, and she's doing an interview with you, and I told her that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is just, that makes me feel good. That really does, that my pictures actually can help, you know, women with their businesses and things, and
Yeah.
they're actually using those headshots. So that made me feel really good.
Yeah, it was not planned, but all this week is like Kim Gibson's work. It's beautiful. As you were saying that in your beginning of your schooling, you thought it through and all that kind of stuff. Do you feel like all of that prep really has given you a good foundation in how you started school year up until now 5 years later?
Yes. I think that if you're going to homeschool, you have to do your prep work. I mean, if you're going to do it well, and want to do it to a certain level, you really have to do your prep work. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people remember how to factor and make factor trees, and it just comes back like that. I'm not one of those people. I don't remember all the, you know, elements on the periodic table. I don't remember everything about the Revolutionary War, or today I was looking at something, what the Townsend Act was. You know, I have to read that. I have to study that, so that, and I have a child who is constantly challenging me. Why was that? Why do you do it that way? You know, that doesn't make sense to me. Explain this to me. So, you know, I see it as my responsibility to be able to either provide him with those answers, or together we, you know, find the answers to those questions.
Well, let's transition just a little bit, Kim, and these are a few of my favorite questions. What was one of your worst days of homeschooling? Was so bad that you was like, I don't even care if you want to homeschool. I'm sending you back somewhere. I'm sending you to public school, somebody else homeschool, but I'm done. Take us to that day and what it looked like, Kim.
I get up, I'm just tired. I don't feel like doing any work, and I probably haven't prepared, especially probably with Japanese, because we're learning how to, you know, write the hiragana and stuff like that. So I get frustrated with myself. I probably have a ton of laundry to do, and I probably have to get the laundry done so we have clothes to wear, because I have a shoot, so I need clean, cute clothes to wear. So I'm frustrated with that. I have nothing thawed out to cook for dinner. So, and by the time I realize I haven't thawed anything out, you know, it's 4 o'clock. You know, it's just one thing after the other. So that's why I go back to about the planning thing. It really helps, because those days suck. And I have to remind myself, you know, it's going to be okay. You know, we can find something to wear, and we can always go out to find something to eat. But, you know, as a mom, I think we sometimes put a lot of pressure. I know I do, that everything has to be just so, and everyone needs to be happy. And I'm learning how to not feel that I need to be emotionally responsible for my family and for other people. And, you know, it's okay if they don't get everything just so. They'll be fine. They'll get over it.
Good. We're going to have to revisit that statement right there. But conversely, conversely from your worst day of homeschooling, which you really brought all the focus back to you. It wasn't even about Doyle or anything. It was you. So conversely to your homeschooling worst day, tell us what has been one of your proudest days of homeschooling, Kim. I mean, it was just like, this is why I do what I do. I mean, even though my son asked me to homeschool him, but yes, this is why I do it. Take us to that that day.
That day is when, honestly, my best homeschool day was one of the days this year. Doyle got up and he just wrote this wonderful story, and used vocabulary that I knew was in there, but he pulled it out on his own. We just went through every subject, and it just flowed, and he had a good time and I had a good time. Those are my best days. And all the laundry and stuff, I don't even remember if that even got done or not, but it was just the connection that we had and the achievements that he made just made me feel really good as not only his mom, but as his teacher. You know.
You said something just a moment ago, and I told you we got to unpack that, because okay. I'm sure some homeschool moms can relate to you, and that's the fact of being emotionally responsible for your family and or for other people. What do you mean by that? Because maybe we're living there and we do that, or there's some moms up here, some girlfriends who live in being emotionally responsible land. And we need to have a bird's eye view of what that looks like. Talk to us about that, Kim.
My personality naturally is to nurture and want to take care of other people and make sure they're as happy as they can be. So, you know, if I see that someone's uncomfortable, I want to go over there and lend them a hand and do whatever I can to alleviate whatever strain, stress that they have. And I really finally am starting to understand that though that is, I believe, is a gift, to be able to be a nurturer and a teacher, you can't do it all the time. And it's not your responsibility to make sure that someone else is happy. You only can be responsible for your happiness and live and do things for other people in love, and be a genuine person. And that's kind of where it has to end. And hope that they receive whatever you're doing or saying in love and with all the love that I'm giving it to them. If that makes sense.
I guess maybe in a nutshell, reining back the desire and love of nurturing others and caring for others and making sure they get it all. They're perfectly fine in every way. Taking that upon yourself that they are. Okay. Yeah. So basically taking it upon yourself to make sure that they are A-okay all the time, whether it's your family, your kids, or whatever. You take that upon yourself. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that all you can do is the best that you can do. And that's where it ends. You can't control how someone else feels. So therefore, it's not your responsibility. And when you do that, you create stress and anxiety within yourself because it's things that are beyond your control. And for example, if I know that I love spaghetti, I could eat spaghetti every night, and we're having spaghetti again, I honestly will feel some kind of way or sad that they have to eat spaghetti again, where, you know, I don't know why, but that's frustrating because if they say, oh, I don't like the spaghetti, then I'm ready to go, I'm really hurt and upset. And especially my kids like, okay, well, then you don't need to eat anything then if you're not going to be happy, you know, with the spaghetti meal. And then it becomes this long dialogue instead of me just saying, oh, well, I like spaghetti, so we're having it, you know, and leaving it there. And so that's what I mean with that, not being emotionally responsible, not being emotionally attached to everything that the people around you feel, that you have to have that separation and train myself and others to be comfortable with that. That's just one of my things, my weaknesses, my faults that I work with. And I've recognized that. So
that is a mouthful, and it takes me back when you, at the beginning of our show, when you sounded so like he's going to school, he's going back to public school because that's where he needs to be so he can learn how to be this strong person and work with community and that type of thing. And I was just thinking, wow, she sounds like a strong mom. I don't, you know, just opposite of in my brain how I'm thinking. And I think, does that go back to what you're saying? I can't be as emotionally responsible. He has got to stand up and be able to handle his sensory processing things apart from me. So I got to release him. Is that part? That's part of it.
That's part of it. And then he has to also learn how to be that strong advocate for himself, that you can't immediately get upset with someone else because of how they are receiving you. One of the things he does is he fidgets a lot when he is uncomfortable. And he can't be caught up in how they respond to it. You know, he just has to check himself. Am I kicking someone? Am I flipping desk over? No. Okay, I'm good, I'm okay. You know, this is something that I need to do. This is how I deal with my stressors so that I can be the best student that I can be. And I need to be able to articulate that to my teachers and to my counselor and to my principal and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm working with. Help me help you work together so that I can be the best student I can be, and that you can teach me and convey all the things that I need to learn this school year. And I need him to be able to do that. And I want him to be able to do that, not that I need to.
Yeah, I got you. Well, girlfriends, guy friends, if there's any up here, listen, we are with Kim Gibson out of South Carolina. She is laying down some amazing words of wisdom and insights and nuggets. She's really teaching us about being emotionally responsible, and just her journey through school, her homeschool journey. I have gleaned so much already. I'm like, notes. So good. So girlfriends, I want to just encourage you to please hit the share button. Hit the share button down below. Get it out to other friends. You just never know who is homeschooling and may need this encouragement, or who's considering homeschooling and really can identify with what Kim is saying, and so that they can make those changes ahead of time before they get started. So hit the share button. Go over to Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling and be sure to like that page as well, so you can follow us whenever we get amazing interviewees up here. We do 3 interviews a week. Whenever a new interview is up, you get notifications so that you can join in and be in the interview. So we're going to continue our interview into the last part of the show with Kim. This has been so good, full of nuggets. Thank you so much, Kim. Insight. A quick question just to pick your brain. You can give a 1 or 2 sentence answer to it, and that would be great. So Kim, tell us, what is your favorite quote or mantra that you have used during your homeschooling journey?
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and it'll all work out. I think I say that a million times a day, if not out loud, but to myself. It's going to be okay. It's all going to work out.
What is something that you uniquely have implemented in the Gibsons homeschool that is unique probably to no other homeschool, because you all have cornered the market on it? What is something that's unique to you all?
I'm going to start reading To Kill a Mockingbird. He'll get one thing out of it. He just read it all by himself and then went to a classroom and asked basic, what happened on this day? Why did that happen? But with reading it together, how did that make you feel? What words didn't you understand? What words are you guessing you think what they mean? How does the book make you feel? Can I read another chapter? And a lot of times I find that we'll get through a book faster, because if I'm reading it and he reads a chapter and then I read a chapter, we'll get farther along because he can just enjoy the story and just hear the words. So maybe that's something unique.
Best piece of advice you've received in your homeschooling journey, Kim?
That boys are different than girls when they learn. And it's so true. I don't care. It's just, I have 2 daughters. And I just knew that a lot of things they did were so similar to what, quote unquote, a boy would do. But now that I have one, it's not so much about the actions. It's just the thought, the way of thinking, and the way they go through life. That it's just, there's something different. I can't speak to it specifically, but there is something different.
Mm-hmm. What is one book in your library, your home library, that you feel that every homeschool must have this book, or maybe it's a CD? What is that one thing that you highly recommend everyone must have as homeschoolers?
Well, one is Free to Be Me and You. Do you know what that is? With Marlo Thomas and Alan. I think that all kids should hear that. And I know that's one thing as far as like a CD. And as far as a book that they read, I think that, I can't think, it's not, oh my gosh, we read so many books. I can't just say, every time I think of one title, I think of another one that kids should read. Isle of the Blue Dolphins. That's what it is. Isle of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. It should read Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by by Mildred D. Taylor. Is that her middle initial?
That's
I
it.
think
Yep.
that. All kids should read the classics. So like all the E.B. White books, I think they should read that. I think when kids are really little, they should read Frog and Toad, all the Frog and Toad books. So Winnie the Pooh. I think they should read Alice in Wonderland.
Kim, as we come to the end of our show, this is the last question. The $1,000,000 question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Kim, if you had to start all over again and go back to day one of your homeschooling, all over, but you have your current wisdom, knowledge, skills, and convictions, okay? What would be one thing or a few things that you would change or be sure to implement that you didn't have before? So now you get to start all over again with this new wisdom, knowledge, and skills. What would it look like?
Have implemented that we don't have to start at the same time every day, because that's just not my personality as the teacher, to be on such a stickler that it has to start exactly at this time, because when it doesn't, I get frustrated. Like, oh my gosh, we're supposed to start at 8:30. Oh, it's 8:40. Oh, now we got to make up 10 minutes. You know, that it doesn't matter. There's no one here to say, hey, y'all said you're all supposed to, you know, you're late. It really, it doesn't matter. As long as you get the things done, that's what really matters. And those 15, 20 minutes here or there really don't matter. And I wish I had, at the onset, really understood that, because I would beat myself up about that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. For the last part here, will you do 3 things for us? 1, any last words of advice you have to share with our girlfriends? 2, let us know what you have your hands in so we can extend our village out to you in Greenville, South Carolina. You know, what you're doing, what is your business, what do you want us to know to get connected with you? And then 3, how can our girlfriends get in contact with you if they want to continue the discussion, or maybe you said something that they really want to ask you questions about? Tell us the best way to get in contact with you as well.
The best way to get in contact with me, you can look at my work as far as business things, or even if you want to ask me things about homeschool, is through Instagram, because I don't get on Facebook. I try to limit my social media, so I have limited myself to basically Pinterest and Instagram. Instagram is KMG Photo Love or at Little Lovely Art. I always wanted to do, when Oprah had her meals out in her garden with like women and they get together, I love to cook and feed people. And I've always wanted to have a dinner party where women came over and we talked, and I cooked for them, and then I made them some kind of gift, just as a way to shower them with love and encouragement. So I actually started that in January. I have my next one planned in April. And I'm really excited because I've stepped it up a notch. So each one will have a theme, and I hope that they continue to grow, and that I could do them more often and invite more women to be a part of it. Last word of advice is have the courage to just be you. And the other thing is to listen when someone shows you who they are, or you have that gut feeling about something, trust it, and go with your gut and believe in yourself.
Well, girlfriends, you are the average sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And you have been hanging out with Kim Gibson of Greenville, South Carolina. Woo! So keep up the momentum, girlfriends. Keep up the momentum. Continue to connect with other positive homeschooling mamas and daddies who's going to make a positive impact in your homeschooling. And then you be that positive resource that they can draw from as well. So just keep up the momentum and do that. Be sure to go over to Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling, follow and like us there so you can get these announcements when we go live. And Kim, Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling is grateful to you, and we appreciate you for giving of your time, your resource, your energy, your wisdom, your insights to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. So thank you so much for that, Kim, and I just pray God blesses you immensely.
Oh, thank you so much. And it has been an honor to do this. I was thrilled that you asked me. And I think this is an awesome, awesome platform. You are a tremendous force. I mean, I may not talk to you all the time, but your energy, I feel it through my day-to-day homeschooling. You know, you are my homeschool director. And I'm inspired by all the work that you do and how giving you are of yourself and your time and your wisdom. I mean, you're a gem, and I'm glad that I know you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm very grateful to be connected to you and to see your success and how you're coming along and doing great. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Kudos to you. So girlfriends, now is your turn going out there and be an encouragement to some mamas out there, some other girlfriends, and give them some insights and hold their hands, extend that village. Your village now has been extended out to Greenville, South Carolina, a little bit further out, and with Kim Gibson. So just remember that to teach a child is to touch a life. And as we homeschool, we not only touch a life, we shape the future through our efforts of homeschooling. So keep making a positive impact, girlfriends. Keep doing it day after day and year after year. So until the next interview tomorrow, actually Friday, you all continue doing well. We will see you then. God bless you. Thank you for joining in. Have a great night. Thanks, Kim.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, girls. Good night.
Good night, love.